how to create a colourful pattern design using selections in Affinity Photo. Let's start right at the beginning. So I'm going to go over here, and this document's 1920 by 1080. Select the elliptical marquee tool and create a selection, something like that, in the middle. Then go to select and feather and go for about 100. So I'm just going to enter 100 there instead of using the slider. Go to the grading tool, and now before you do that you need to create a layer. There's no layers, so new layer, and then just drag. And that's white to black using linear. Select and deselect. Now this design can be modified using filters. I'm going to go for deform. You could use other ones as well. So filters, distort and deform. And you can distort it in all kinds of ways. You can go around the edge, just add some pins, maybe one in the centre, and just drag out. Literally all kinds of different shapes and designs can be created very quickly. Now these are not stuck on the design, so you will not see these later. These are simply just if you drag, you can drag inwards as well as out. And I'm going to go with that. Click apply. Now sometimes you might find, just try it, filters and repeat deform. I think that looks quite nice, and you can apply it a couple of times. Yes, you can create some very odd, unusual shapes there. But what you can also do is you can apply layer effects to this layer. It's just a layer, standard layer. Go down here with this selected, click here to effects, and go with 3D. You can go with Bevel and Boss if you want as well. That's another option. Just change that. You can see result there. You get a lovely oozy sort of design there. But 3D, the reason for 3D is you've got these lights. So I've got here light source 1, and it's currently white. Click there, and I'm going to go with red. You can see now you've got this lovely red there. Also, what you can do, you can add. So just click the add. You can also remove, of course. And then you can change the direction there. And I'm going to go with, you could go with blue. And you can see then you get this lovely, and you can, of course, tweak it. You can say, just like there. Okay, click close. Pity there's no sort of blending modes in between. I think you could create even more unusual designs. But this design is a great start point for my next, which is the pattern. But you don't have to use just this. You could, if you want, hold down the Alt Option key or layer menu and the layers duplicate. And you can just say, just duplicate that design. And you can see then you create some very, or just resize it and rotate it. Literally all kinds of abstract designs can be created just by doing this. Resize that and stretch it this way or that way. So you got that. So once you've done that, you can go down to pixels and you can then rasterize them all. Quite often what I do, right click and group. So they're all grouped. Then go to layer and then you can rasterize that. So rasterize, and it all becomes a pixel layer. And you can resize this. Now you could of course repeat that as well. You could then create more complex designs with this. But I'm going to use this as a pattern. So layer and new pattern layer from selection. Not this one. That just creates a completely new pattern layer. This one creates it from that selected object. And you can see the design there. Now you can keep the other one. You can always just deselect it like that. I always find it gets in the way. I always end up selecting it by accident. So just delete it. Wish there was a way of I could just store it in assets and use it later if I was wanting that. Now hold down the Alt Option key or go to layer again and duplicate. That's another option. And simply drag. And you can repeat that. Now you might like, before you do any of that, with the move tool selected, go up here, make certain mirror options on. I always find that the layer and merge selected seems to be very random in the result it creates. So you might not like to use it, up to you. You can see resize that, again hold down that, and you can build up all complex designs like that, and they're all the same, they're all got that mirror. And you can drag it down there. So once you've done that, you can go, you might like to turn it all into a pattern design, which you can then combine, that's perfectly reasonable, but I always find, let's just do it. Layer and go here, merge selected. The result sometimes isn't always that, well, it's okay. But it does have a tendency sometimes, if it's over the edge, you might suddenly find gaps in it, or it just basically results in something that doesn't look anything like what you see on the screen. But the merge selected is fine, but merge visible possibly is quite good as well, if that doesn't work. If you merge visible will get you at least the result you've seen on the screen. Hold down the Alt Option key again, and then you can go over here, and it's just a layer. So layers, you can run through these ones. So you can say, oh, let's just go for lighten, or maybe difference. And you can move this around. So as you move that around, you can see the result there. Or exclusion, or average, or negation. Just try them out. Maybe go with hard light. And you can resize and rotate this. So you can create all kinds of combinations that way. Again, these pattern layers, simply go to layer, and again, the result may be similar to what you just saw. It may not, but I'm going to go with this. And with this, what you can do, you can apply filter effects as well. So you've got this pattern, go to filters, you could use repeat deform. I love trying that one. Just repeat deform, and you can see the effect of that. It creates some lovely distortions. Do it again. Filters, repeat deform. Filters, repeat deform. And so on. You can create all kinds of oozy designs using that. And of course, you can always go to filters, distort and deform, and use that as well. Another great option is to go to mirror. So mirror, and with that, you can see now you've got this double, and it's only applied to this. Just to this pattern here, not out here. If the whole thing was rasterized in one layer, then it would be applied to the whole thing. Now you can go over here, number of mirrors. And as you do that, you can see the result of that. And you can still continue to tweak and change origin point. Again, all referenced here. Now you can, of course, go out here. But I always just stick in this central point, and you can change number of mirrors. Sometimes I find that if you put it too high, you just end up with much the same result each time. So I prefer just quite often just to go for 4 or 5. And you can just resize this, move this around. I'll go with 6. And you can, 8, 6. And also you've got the option here of input. If you want to, you can hold down the Alt Option key, and then the input then is smooth. But it's not if you don't, if it just will go around like that. It will just fix 180, 45, etc. But you can hold the Alt Option down, and it can smoothly move around. And then you can reposition it. And I think that looks lovely. Click apply. It's still a pattern. Still exactly the same as before. Hold down the Alt Option key, and you can duplicate this design. Obviously, go here, blend modes, and you can then run through again, like difference or saturation. Just try them out. Overlay or lighten, and reposition that. Now make certain you select the pattern layer, there it is, and you can reposition it there. Maybe there. And you can repeat that. Obviously you can create 3 or 4 layers. Once you're happy with the entire design, instead of going to layer and selected, merge selected, just use merge visible. So merge visible all becomes one single design. No longer a pattern layer, but you've got your end result, which of course you can then manipulate again with filters, maybe use repeat mirror, create some lovely mirror effects with that, or maybe go to filters and distort, deform, or maybe go to colors and auto levels. Sometimes I think that ends up with quite, or of course, use adjustments. You've got levels over here, you've got darken, or maybe go with lighten, and so on. Just try them out. And there you have it. Very quick pattern design using a variety of different techniques, using gradients, using selections, deform, mirror filter effects, and more. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Thank you much.